Hello and good evening.
Hello, hello, hello. We are back. We are back. It's 9 o'clock, so jump in. Y'all ain't sleep.
Here we go. I'm sorry I didn't get this one done. So we're here with what says meditation and mediation. This is RHOA's season 10, no, season 16, episode 10. And let us know in the chat what you thought about this episode. And
Yeah,
we'll get
1 to
started.
10. Let us know. What would you rate this episode from a 1 to 10? I think I'm still, y'all. I'm still coasting at about a 6. Nothing. Even though this episode had a little bit more for us to discuss this week, it's still just coasting. We are still coasting, but coasting is good, right? Coasting is good.
Girl, it's cutting in and out. What'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't get half of it.
I'm rating it about a 6. I'm still sticking in about a 6, 6.5. I said we still kind of coasting, even though that's not bad, but it's still just coasting.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'll say about the same. Um, Seems like the ones that are really working is Kelly and Angela, because they over there stirring the pot big time.
For sure. That is another thing I thought about this episode, that this is the part I did not really care for. And once we get to Angela and Angela and Kelly scene, I'll go more into it. But it felt like we saw a lot of plotting mixed up in conversation. Um, yeah, so I thought that took place off camera.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like Angela is keeping her foot on Portia's neck, and I think that she's disguising it with trying to come in between their relationship because she's still mad at Portia and Shamea. So she's coming at their relationship. I feel like I think Portia probably should have thought about, hey, I just was talking about this woman's husband. Am I going to believe everything that coming out of her mouth and how she's saying it? I don't know.
And that might be, one of the main issues in the relation, in this breakdown that Portia and Shamea is having, because I think Shamea has a lot of strong feelings about that. Like, why would you believe somebody else, that you barely, don't know? And then, like you say, you was just, into it with this lady, so it seemed like if she did tell you something, that you would give me the courtesy of a phone call, and ask me about it before I'm talking about it, or in front of everybody else.
Excuse me 1 second. My daughter's calling me.
Okay. Yeah, but I tell y'all what else, guys. For this episode, I had the thought, and it feel like I hate when that happened. I feel like it just like left my brain. What else? This is what I thought. I feel like this episode, as far as the new cast, right? The 4 new girls, and this kind of being, a semi reboot, rebrand, whatever it is. What it made me realize was a few things. Kenya had her interview with Carlos King, and on that, I think she was making this statement, and it sounded like it was meant to shade Marlo. But now I absolutely agree with her. I don't think it's a good idea to make long-term housewives that have been friends a housewife. It's like if you come on as a friend, and if you don't get promoted to that housewife, but that's your next season, then you just probably should stick or be stuck at a forever friend. And the reason why is because I feel like Shamea is really she's in this sticky place for me as a viewer, because she's not coming off as authentic. And I think that this little rift between her and Portia is really just something. I don't think it's fake. I do think it's real, because I think the girls are meddling. And I think Shamea is one of the two things. She's either realizing something she always felt, or she's eating the crow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and is doing the devil's work. And about to, lose her friend, maybe, possibly. So for that, and like I said, and then she's doing this projecting of this housewife that I think she thinks we want to see, or even housewives that maybe that's the way she saw Nene, and then when she was a friend, like maybe that's the way she, viewed it. But she seems out of place in her confessionals. I'm kind of like what I say on Kempire. Who is this hoe? I'm gonna give me a sound machine because that's how I feel. Who is this hoe? Because I don't know her. Like, and I don't believe that this is you. Not because you wasn't always a housewife. It's because I don't care if you was a housewife or not. If that's the way you dress on a regular basis, why we never see you? You know what I'm saying? In that. So I'm not feeling that. The next thing is at this point with season 16, this might be a good reason why, as they bring in new cities, maybe the old cities need to start just phasing out. And really and maybe they go on to do what Bravo announced, the wife swap, ultimate girls trip, what now they got the Love Hotel. You know what I mean? It's a lot of other things that if you're not on the main housewife thing that you can go over and transfer to. I think that's time, because what we're seeing here is the new housewives. Now they know who y'all are. They can go back and watch these episodes and they can come in and pull. Shamea's wedding was what, 10 years ago? And here it is. Y'all have them discussing that she was upset. And we know she was upset. We watched that shit. Like, hello? Y'all want us to sit up and watch it again? And it's funny because I guess people do, because it's people in the comments that's like, you going, but it's like, girl, just go back to season 9. And even though we didn't know how they mended and got through it, and that particularly is because Shamea wasn't a full-time housewife.
Exactly.
But here's the other thing. I didn't care then, and I don't care now. I didn't need to rehash that with them. If they were cool and got through it, why did I don't feel like what? I'm not owed any explanation. So that's kind of what I left with this episode. Even like I say, they're coasting, but I am still of an unpopular opinion to say it's time for Real Housewives of Atlanta. When everybody says you are dead, it is time to lie down. In the words of Heather Dubrow, it's time to lay down. Bury these people. This is dead. Because I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy for the same reason. They started to regurgitate the same storyline. How many fucking sisters and siblings and shit is Meredith supposed to have that's out here in the world? I'm sick of this.
I never watched that show.
If anybody out there to watch Grey's Anatomy, drop down in the comments. Oh, and while I'm talking, make sure you subscribe to our channels and like this video, okay? And hit the bell notification. But yeah, drop down in the comments because y'all know exactly, even if they still watching it, they know what I'm talking about. Them storylines, just like after a while, it just seemed to get recycled, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Even and especially for a scripted, so I'm not watching it at all. I might waste a lot of time watching TV, but I ain't got that type of time. That's all I'm saying, to be watching. I get that type of time. So yeah, I'm putting that out there before the season even ends. Is that if they come back, of course I'm gonna watch them. I'm kind of like this. Fan. Yeah. But if they don't, it would be no sweat off my back. I feel like the housewives that I cherish they sitting in the morgue. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's time to go ahead, wrap them up. You know what I'm saying? Bury them. Get some new shit in here and fresh, so that it's not, you're not going to get people and then they kind of digging up the dead. you know, like, and now we got to play this out 10 years later. I'm not even finna play out nothing 10 years, you know, in my own life.
Yeah, because I just feel like I don't know what the women had to gain to come in and try to, and I feel like the way they, you know, the way it's edited and the way it's filmed and what they said, that they were really working on these girls' relationship. And I don't know, it was divide and conquer or whatever, but it seemed to work. And I don't know. And just for Porsha to automatically kind of jump the bandwagon like that, I just feel that Shamea, you see that I don't think the friendship was, it seemed like it was lopsided. And I
mean, this is what I think we talked about it. I don't know if I'm not sure if I do agree that there were times, especially like even with that wedding, even I think I was one. I'm still say this. If you go back and watch the season since Shamea have come on, I do think that I've always pointed out that Candy seemed to have involved Shamea with more filming time than Porsha. But whenever Shamea showed up with Porsha, it was now, and I think that's where people go when they calling her a lapdog. I don't think she's a lapdog. She's a sidekick. I feel like best friends are kind of like that sometimes. You might have one, and then you got your sidekick. That's who you always, when you got to go here, this who coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know if what I'm maybe confused about is I don't know if Shamea put herself in that role. And then because they were so young, I'm not sure why. Now, what my spidey senses say, just because I think I pay a lot of attention to behaviors and then I think about maybe my own experiences. But my spidey senses would say maybe Porsha, because she talked about being bullied and stuff like that. So maybe Shamea comes in as like, you got a friend now, you know what I'm saying? And then as Porsha develops, maybe becomes the more attractive. Because I don't know who Porsha was before, you know, being on Housewives, but you know, she was in some videos. All I'm saying is that maybe Porsha, even before we know her, had access to places, things, and Shamea as the sidekick was able to enjoy that stuff too. You know, like maybe that's kind of how the bond came. So like I said, with the power dynamic is shifting, and it don't have nothing to do with Shamea's money. It's got to do with Shamea being this housewife. Now, and like I'm saying about the way Shamea is presenting herself to us, I don't know if she's presenting herself to Porsha that way. I'm not even trying to take up for Porsha because real talk, I do think there are times when Porsha could have been a better friend to her, especially whether she was a friend of the show or whatever. As soon as her name came up, you should have, you know, had some more to say about it. So that's that. But I am seeing Shamea seem like, I don't know. I just can't tell if this is something that's always been festering with her. And maybe so, because maybe that's why it's easy for somebody to like kind of get you to be like, no, you should be getting the same in return. If you show up for her, because that's another thing. If you listen to Shamea, she's verbalizing that. Are you getting this from the comments?
I think she's probably getting it from her own feelings. I mean,
you think so?
Yeah, especially when she tried
to negate her feelings, and I'm sorry if it sounds that way, but I guess it's just because you haven't displayed that before, and so
because she ain't been a housewife before. But when I think Porsha, when Shamea had put out her song for everybody to hear. And for her, and she said, "This is my song." And for Porsha to keep saying this was Drew.
Oh yeah, that was shady.
It was
Oh yeah,
shady as
now
heck.
that
And then the
was.
whole coming to the party late.
But
And
that's why I'm saying I really think it's about her getting this status. You're not the sidekick. Like now I'm your sidekick, you know, and that's for neither one of them are used to the role that they are now in. Shamea as well. Not saying that she shouldn't be or anything like that, but I'm just saying that's why I'm kind of like, even with that dynamic, it would, because I don't hear Shamea really kind of copping to that maybe you put yourself in that position and like now you want to pop your shit a little bit. Because Kelly said it when they was at the event. I thought I kept rewinding it back because I'm like, did I? Because again, and this is now it's like now I'm about to go on to like just bury these hoes. Because she's like, well, we all think that you seem to take up her shine and Shamea doesn't. And so that Shamea chimes in and she's like, well, I didn't say that. And because I'm thinking, yeah, well, I didn't hear say it either. Now, but I thought it was because I didn't know if that may have been coming from the conversation, you know, that they didn't show us, right? But the fact that she said, well, we all think that was it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and
they didn't surmise
how Porsha didn't like blow that shit, you know, through one and out the other, because you can think what you want to think. Your opinion is not needed in my, friendship.
But I would imagine that outside the show, that if Shamea and Porsha probably had the same opportunities, if not more. Porsha mama was the one who was single. Shamea's mom has a daycare, I guess a big one, and her parents are still married. So, and it seems like, I don't know what kind of education Porsha has, but Shamea does have education. So I would imagine that because they were friends because of their moms, that they were already in the same circles. And then it's the guy's preference whether he want to come or
what. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you've, because that's where I'm coming from, that type of experience. That's exactly what I'm saying, where it probably had been how they became friends is one thing, but now you out, and probably have been Porsha being whatever. Because I'm not saying one is cuter or whatever, but what I know is how people react to people. You know what I'm saying? So what I know for a fact, probably because I'm dark skinned, and that Shamea has had a different flight in life. It doesn't matter. They probably did walk the same steps, but I'm just saying, I think Shamea had always kind of been in that space. And maybe for a long time, Shamea had been comfortable in that space. I don't know. I'm not saying that she any less successful or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you in Atlanta, you in a place where that's what they, it's all about, that kind of like a Beverly Hills thing. And maybe for a long time you found yourself not able to do it. Now, was Porsha jealous of her about getting married before her? More likely, yeah.
But because so wasn't Shamea she was something on the Falcons, a cheer dancer or something. Yeah. So I think, and plus she worked in film too. Some little movies, part roles, small roles.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you just have to use your own judgment about that. She's in Atlanta. And like Porsha.
But when I was in Atlanta, I didn't see, far as them being different shades or whatever, when I went to Atlanta, all I seen was black, black, black. So it was different than my experience here in Indiana, because I didn't even really see people that, what I consider high yellow. I didn't see a lot of that there. Maybe because the party I was at or whatever, but I'm like, dang.
No, it's a lot of black people in Atlanta.
So I'm like,
but it's also the South. Like, so that's a lot. Like, colorism happens a lot in southern places, but it happens a lot with black people in general. True. Like, whether they know that they are doing it or not, is one thing, but it just happens. So that's what I'm just saying, and like I said, just coming up with a theory about, because we're talking about time and space we don't know about, and only they know about it. And so again, watching this breakdown on this television show really is kind of heartbreaking, and it probably is breaking both of their hearts, because I'm sure that they thought they would handle whatever they had off to the side. I'm not sure who broke the agreement. If you ask me, from what I see on the Housewives, on the episodes that are edited, I know that they are. If you ask me who I think might have broke that code, that we're going to handle this between us, Shamea. I said it when she got on that bus and they was in Nashville, Tennessee. I said I thought it was really strange that she got on the bus, walked past her friend. We didn't see a conversation with her and her friend about this text that she got about being abused from this random person. Again, it seemed to me like you would have went to your, because even she knew, had firsthand information. You would not have had to explain, well, he knocked me out of my expensive shoes. Like, so again, and so that I guess maybe we looking at a performance, I guess, too. But so that's why I'm saying I'm not throwing Shamea under the bus, and I'm not even saying she's the reason for it. But what I am saying is, if there was anybody that broke an agreement between us dealing with our issues together and off camera, it looked to me like it was Shamea. Now, maybe something happened before that I forgot or we ain't see. Drop down in the comments if you think something else. But for me, and like I said, I pointed it out then. I said that on our live then, because I really thought it was strange, because I started looking at Shamea to say, well, are you the problem? Like, are you not being direct with your friend? Are you not telling her? And that is a shitty move. I don't care if Porsha has been a shitty friend. If you have stood there and continued to tell this lady that y'all cool and that's your friend, and you know what I'm saying? Well, how dare you go and talk to strangers? You know what I'm saying? About what anything that you're feeling about me. But the way I'm talking a lot, because I do think that Shamea is answering questions in the way of like, well, I'm just answering their question. So now, again, that's them girls meddling. No, like, well, they're asking me this and I'm just answering.
Angela said, y'all put it on the platter so we can see it. So it was only obvious. So, like we said, was it meditation and mediation, which the mediation went all the way left. But we got Kelly and the kids in the first scene talking about the daughter grades, and she's having a little talk with the kids over dinner. Youngest daughter said, "Mama don't even cook." No, the middle daughter said, "Mama don't even cook that good." And Kelly thinks her oldest daughter should get a summer job. And so then our next scene that we have Shamea goes to meet with Ralph at a restaurant. And she has, they're talking about a podcast. She did a podcast with him, Ross, and Todd back in season 15.
I don't know when the hell they did this podcast. I had no fucking idea until she said it.
It was like a speak on it.
I don't watch them.
That's what it was.
That I had no idea that she had a podcast.
No, it wasn't. She was asking the questions. It was the men on the show. It was kind of like a speak.
I had no idea either that any of that was happening.
So I think it was for season 15, and so Porsha attends the dinner.
Season 14 and 15, we just gonna act like they don't even exist. So that is why I didn't know that was going on, because I didn't want to watch the fucking episodes. There ain't no way I was gonna go watch anybody talk about anything after that. That's, you know what? I am sorry to cut in with that though, but that's the thing too. Like even with Porsha, can I listen? I subscribe to her YouTube channel and all of that, but I didn't come to. I'm not following you to come and watch you do the type of vlogs and stuff you doing. I'm not, maybe other people are, but I'm not. I thought at least she would just use this time to address more of what's happening in the episode, what we're seeing, whatever little stuff else is going on. But all of this extra stuff, I'm not here for it. You
So
on
she's not really doing the speak on it?
Huh?
She's not really doing the speak. I haven't really watched it.
No, yeah, no. It's like first she started off with like the mukbangs. I know she had Dennis on. I feel like I watched the first 2 episodes, and those were her kind of addressing stuff like in the show. Now I don't know because she didn't say any. I don't because if they let Heavenly do it, it ain't no way they came to her and told her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To stop, and she didn't say anything close to what Heavenly. But like what I noticed today, she posted, I think it's like behind the scenes of her going to watch what happens live. And then it was something else. Maybe she probably got a behind the scenes of the Pamper by Porsha, maybe. Because probably already have that in filming. But I'm just saying, you on a whole reality show. Like, I don't need your vlog. I mean, ain't the reality show like an elevated vlog for these people?
Yes, but the guys wasn't that. They were doing a speak on it. They was talking about the scenes on the show. That's what they're.
No, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And it still stands. I wasn't watching anything they had to say. I don't know. And y'all crazy if y'all was over there listening to them. Because all I'm saying is the episodes that we was watching them seasons was so dry and dead. What was y'all talking about? Right.
The ladies.
Yeah.
The ladies.
But even in that, it was no subject matter.
The ladies.
It wasn't
and
I think going on.
I think
you can't even remember nothing that happened in them seasons, honestly.
I think maybe cousin Courtney. I think.
Okay, I can see them talking about that. Yeah.
Cousin Courtney. Yeah, I believe cousin Courtney. And I don't know. But that's what so that's what she was talking about, them working on a podcast together, and he wants to do another podcast. Porsha comes in there and she spills the tea about what she says. I don't even believe it's true, but that
it's not. Like I'm gonna put the clip up tonight on my shorts. Dennis said it right in the scene. Like sometimes I get so freaking annoyed. Just with like, well, what are y'all looking at sometimes? Because he literally said it right in the scene.
He misinterpreted.
Well, he literally said what he said out his mouth, which was, and funny enough, because Claudia over there on Carlos King, and baby, I'm like I got a headache with her. Claudia Jordan, if there was a pick me, she is fucking it. And I hate that for her because it's a shame. I feel like she doesn't have to be a pick me, but God can't help herself. And because of all of this going on with Porsha, honey, she been waiting all her fucking life.
So she's rebelling.
It's like she even Dustin better watch out, honey, because she made sure she logged in early so she could get the top spot this time because she used to be over in the bottom. I ain't lying. I am not fucking lying. And try to tell me she ain't do that shit on purpose. I won't believe it because baby, these last 2 weeks, like I said, as soon as Porsha said, as soon as Angela said, Porsha said, I should ask F. Carl, baby, she was on it like white on rice, going off, giving Porsha everything she got. I'm telling you, everything. And the funny thing is that while she might be, it's funny and whatever, but I think Claudia just has maybe a distorted view of just even herself. because for some reason it don't look good coming out your mouth. You look like a hater. And it don't even matter how factual you being. It's because she got this vitriol about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a random opinion. Like, you can't stand that bitch, and it is deep down in your soul. Baby. Porsha lives
or something
in Claudia's head. I know it for a fact. I thought it in season 7, but I thought by now, because I literally thought she was only like that with Porsha because she was taking up Kenya. But baby, she can't stand, and she know everybody feel that way, because so she'll say,
Did she go out on a date with Cordell before or something?
Absolutely, because that's what I went over there in the comments, and that's what I said about when she was talking about her sitting with Ralph, and then she's like, how you gonna do that and this and that, and then I said, well, you'll be going to dinner with him next. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, you know what I mean? But that's again, like, you do slide shit like that, and then you want to talk about somebody else being a hoe? I don't know, and because I ain't calling her a hoe. I don't know what none of these people do. You the one said she a hoe. You the one jump on every post that even insinuate this girl a hoe. I told you that, because that's what she was on. Like, so she had the little man meme. I think I had a screenshot. I forgot to post, y'all. But anyway, yeah, she was on it. And like I said, she is on Carlos King's reading her rights, honey. And it is pathetic. Let me just say that. Now, maybe funny, but in the grand scheme of things, it is pathetic. Because I think, Claudia, girl, let it go. Let it fucking go, honey. And Porsha is just over there playing around in her sheets. You over here reading her for filth, honey. You think they were trying to give us a younger, newer cast? Absolutely. And I think I like the idea, but I think the mistake is that everybody should have been new. Bringing doing that, it's creating this messiness that is unnecessary. Because again, like I said, we about to rehash, this issue of Porsha and Shamea from 10 years ago. Put down the mustard and ketchup. Porsha was feeling, yes, and you can tell that she's feeling pushed out because she's not participating in nothing.
No, she's not.
They did a movie premiere thing. She wasn't there. They just did they had to go to upfronts or whatever. She wasn't there. And Shamea was. So that's why I keep pushing it back to this dynamic. Now, I know we saying like, well, Porsha was married and now she's going through her divorce, but I feel like none of that probably mattered is as far as Porsha thinking what the network would be for her. I think she pissed off at the network a little bit because this editing, maybe she didn't even expect it to go. I don't know. But I almost feel like I can say this. I don't expect Porsha to come back next season. I feel like she is setting herself up for an exit, especially with the Pampered by Porsha. Because she been here Pampered by Porsha. She never had it on that show before, even though we know she got to work for real. But then when you put your business on there, you have to give, I think, a portion of the proceeds or something. But like I said, I think she is gearing up, for just a transition in which she can, collect off her businesses and from there. I honestly, I do not see Porsha coming back next season. Yeah. And at this point, I don't even know what she would, what would she even talk about or do? You know what I mean? Like, because this Simon thing is still here. I guess she can film in the house now.
Yes, she can film.
But here's the thing: we can watch that on YouTube now. We don't need to wait for every Sunday night on fucking Bravo. So there's that. Well,
anyways, the lie that Porsha had told about Drew and Dennis And then Ralph spills the tea about Drew and Ty. And Ralph lies and say he ain't never cheated on Drew.
And y'all, real quick, that lady Mean Lee, she over on Basketball Wives about to spill the tea some more over there. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because I am doing Basketball Wives reviews. Okay.
So
she say Drew and Ty was talking 50 hours a bill cycle. Now, I don't know. That don't sound like a lot. And maybe that she said 3,000 minutes. That's what it was that they was talking each bill cycle. Shamea moves very funny. She clocked it. Yeah. Shamea move a little funny. I agree. That's what I like. And I'm not saying Porsha might not deserve it, but that shit, I guess I got PTSD from people moving funny and lying and all of that. So it's a no-go for me. I can't be around nobody who shifty and shit like that. Can't speak up for yourself. Need to go and have somebody else come tell me something. No.
Because I didn't understand that. But let's keep going.
Yeah.
So then
let's go ahead and talk about this dinner scene though.
That's where I'm going.
Because at the top of the show, I was saying we looked like we was looking at a whole bunch of scenes in which they was plotting, and you know what I mean? Like this is one. This looked like a planted scene.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So we can get the tea on Drew. And right. I listened to Girl Is Legal was the other day, and they was talking about Drew's whole divorce papers and all that stuff in there. Turns out Ralph has a pretty good job. And in there they said how Drew had drawn unemployment. She got $4,000 of it, and it was like basically trying to say like he didn't know that she drew unemployment until they got ready to file tax paper, file the taxes, because they still filed together, but she only wanted to give him a certain amount of papers. And then how she started another LLC without him knowing. And, when you're going through a divorce, you're not supposed to, and took all of the business money out of the LLC they have together. And I guess that's why he won all that stuff in court, the legal battle, because of the things her attorney did. It was underhanded.
Drew not smart. We already know that. Mm-hmm.
So then we go on, and they both, everybody trying to make it plain that Ralph didn't know Porsha was coming, and Porsha was saying that she was not doing tick for tack. Yes, she was.
and Shamea was doing your dirty work also. You know what I mean? Like all of that was going on. That it was so reminiscent of season 13 when they did the trip to South Carolina, and when Kenya was doing all of that Bolo trial and stuff. When they got back the very next day, now out of Candy's own mouth, what happens here stays here. And then the very next time we see Candy on camera, she's sitting up with Don Juan, and she's like, "Oh well, the stripper called at such and such in the morning for the car service, and then she gets to basically confirming what it was
that Kenya said,
and it was just like, girl, how to tell me Kenya don't run the girls without telling me Kenya don't run the girls? Because clearly she gave you a nice little phone call and talked to you about being loyal, okay? And you went right on in with it, and broke your own damn rule. And it's the same thing here. It feels like Shamea is, now I can't say if somebody is forced to ask her to, or if she decided she was going to do that on her own. She probably decided to do it on her own. Because I'm getting a little thirst bucket from Shamea too. Like, Shamea is flip-flopping and jumping through all kind of hoops to keep herself on here. So that might have been her own idea. She probably called Porsha like, I'm going to just invite, Ralph to woo, and you going to come and meet us. But y'all clearly, you two knew who was coming. I don't know about Ralph. He might have been the only one out the loop, but y'all knew what was happening.
But in the middle of all of this, them two get into it. And, she was like, I guess, she said, what did she say? She said, which excuse me. She said, "What you eat, I shit." Apparently, talking about Angela being more mad at her than Porsha for saying the things, and then Porsha was trying to explain. Well, she was thinking that maybe you as a married woman would say something to your friend or something like that. I just didn't get all that. So they had their disagreement, and then they kind of Ralph says something to kind of break the ice or whatever, and then they go on. They finish up with Shamea kind of being funny, saying, "You're not gonna get through with us yet because we're gonna order dessert." So that was the end of that scene. But in that scene, we learned that Ralph is there to spill the tea on Drew.
I don't know if he spilled any tea. I mean,
well,
yeah, he came to drop some salacious information.
Yeah, that's what that was all about.
And Porsha went to, and she twisted a text message,
Yes.
I guess get Drew off her ass. I don't know.
So this is all about Drew to me.
Yeah.
And then we have Angela and Kelly at the investment property, $1.5 million investment property that didn't have no water in the pool.
But before we go to that, I think let's ask the viewers, because I feel like a part of something important with that scene is just really asking, however way Porsha got there, right or wrong, for her to sit down and have that conversation with Ralph, considering what her views were about Drew working with Dennis. Which I also feel like that's the reason why when we see Drew do her interviews and she's questioned about it, she's kind of very quick to say, because a lot of times people say, well, how would you feel if it was on you, and which I think that's for the slow heads. It's so stupid to ask her that same question because it's not the same thing. It's like apples and oranges. It just happened to be her husband. So whatever. But her answer is always like, well, Ralph's already done things, like he did the podcast with Shamea. And, and I feel like she probably knew a little bit that this at this point had taken place, so it kind of fell flat, at least to me,
Yeah, well, it was what it was.
What do you think? Do you think she should have, or should she not have did that scene with him? Or I
think she was doing
think it was a get back? Yeah,
I think it was a get back.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
I think it was a get back, and supposedly, because someone said, why did she ask Cynthia or somebody else to come instead of Porsha? But it was all to get back, so it is what it is.
Or probably her way of showing some loyalty to Porsha.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's what we can't, like, just because that's the part I don't like, going back to Claudia, because that's how I think Claudia has like tunnel vision, you know what I'm saying, about it, because she cannot stand this girl. So it doesn't matter what she does. She is not going to see shit else. It's like, oh, she said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they're like, if let's say if their relationship is toxic, they both participate in it. So that's what I mean. Like, just because it seemed like Porsha's offense might be more loud, you can't negate the little slide shit that Shamea might do. And so what I mean is, like, if Shamea is going and creating stuff on her own as a way to prove her loyalty to Porsha, that has to do with her.
Well, sure. I'm just thinking about
we should point that out, though. You know what I mean? Like what is happening in this dynamic? It's not. I feel like it's not all on this one person. I think this other person is moving shifty because she's not being upfront. And for whatever reason that is, maybe she is scared. And that's crazy. I would cry like Porsha, because what are you scared of? But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think. I think one thing is that maybe one of the reasons why Porsha did not want her on the show, because I don't believe she wanted her on the show.
I don't believe that either. We have seen it. Like
Yeah,
we have seen it. We have watched Porsha. Porsha could have had that girl. Porsha probably could have ushered her to be a housewife sooner. Well, how many housewives we done got in the middle of, Shamea being a friend? But Shamea did say that her
husband didn't want
now,
to
and that goes back to that conversation. Because are we talking about a conversation we had this, for this season, or are we talking about a conversation y'all
long time
had?
ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, but I would imagine that knowing how housewives things go, that I wouldn't want my best friend really to be on the show, because people are going to always try to
pit y'all against each other, for sure.
So maybe that's one of the reasons why Porsha didn't want her on the show, is what I'm saying.
Right. I think that would be reasonable. Right. Yeah. I think that's reasonable. And even as the best friend, let's think about Candy and Rashida and Toya. You know what I'm saying? Like, go get your own shit. Why would you even want to come over here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like it feels like it could be jealousies on both ends. You could be mad that you don't have access to what it might look like she do. Not saying she ain't got no life, but the strangest people want what they don't have, even though they can have, you know what I'm saying, enough. And that's the hardest thing that you can ever understand. But when you watching something like this, and it go back to, again, if we sit here in 2025 and we talking about conversations that took place in 2015, like,
yeah.
And then we have this emotion as if it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Shamea could have, and like I said, I understand both of their sides. I do have a post, guys, so go to my community tab if you are subscribed. If you subscribe, you can go to the community tab. I have a poll to act like, I don't like this, but I ain't had no other way to word it. Team Shamea or Team Porsha? And I think the actual description, because it's like, I don't know if Porsha is caught off guard by this information. She's giving us caught off guard. That's the impression she's giving us. But Shamea seems to act like maybe, like she should know this already. So I think it says, is Shamea finally seeing the truth, or is Porsha blindsided by Shamea's feelings? And that just means, because that bothers me. Don't be a friend of mine letting something for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years fester up in you, and then when it comes up, you think I'm about to have sympathy for something over a decade. We get new skin in 7 years. I'm not about to rehash this shit with you. Like, it's not my fault if you couldn't speak up about it then. You know what I mean? And if this is where we at now, because this is how I am. If it is a problem for us to not be able to go rehash that, because again, 10 years, can you even remember? You might remember the big stuff, but you can't remember, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. I'm not going to rehash that. And if that's a problem, then I guess we can't be friends no more. I've had a friendship break up like that. And that's because that's my feeling. You're not going to blindside and bombard me with the feelings you've held on to for 3 and 4 years. I am not about to go back there. I'm not about to go back there.
Well, I would say, okay, true. But the feelings that happened this year, and it just seems like, just from me, I like Porsha. I'm not even gonna lie. I think she's a fun girl. I just don't think she's a good friend. And I think maybe she's playing the housewife game. Are they really not friends? Are we doing this for the show? I don't know.
Now, I think that's a consideration. The only reason why I don't think that this is for the show for real is so I think you're gonna get into what's the next scene.
It's Angela and Kelly.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that because I feel like
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you when in the scene during Angela and Porsha. That's the first scene that made me really think to myself, like, I don't think this is for real. You know,
Okay.
they having a real rift in their friendship.
So Angela and Kelly again at the investment property, and Kelly's throwing her little digs about certain things in place, and
The irony is the financial issue she got herself in that you would have the nerve, honey, like the audacity.
so she said the pool ain't done, and
but I think she's just playing the housewife game too. You know,
yeah,
like
she
just
is. She
trying to
really
get
is.
funny and cute.
And so they sit around, they talk, and Angela wants to get her straight about what you're saying about my husband, and she lets her know about the side baby stuff is not sitting well with me, and she tells her what actually happened, and she explains that when she was talking to Wendy assumed she was talking about Charles, but she was actually talking about her baby daddy. When I watched the after show and she talks about it, it says that actually she found out she was the side chick.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he actually had a family going, but the kids are like maybe a couple months apart. They're the same age. So she said, so that whole issue about the side baby is not true. She said she has dealt with infidelity with him, and they did take a break. So that's the base of that scene. What do you think?
Well, no, and then they start to talk about Shamea and
Yes,
Porsha.
she does talk about Shamea.
That's the part that I felt. Here we go to back up why I say the stuff I say. I like to point that out because
she was stirring the pot.
A critical thinker. Everybody, just know that.
So that's what she brings up about the wedding that Shamea that Porsha did not go to, and basically I said in one of my posts, why is Shamea still acting like a side friend or whatever instead of a peace holder.
It's like Sonic and Boots, or what's the Jordan, what's the person name? Sonic and who? Who's the other person?
I don't know these these cartoons they got
now. Right, because I think is it Boots?
I'm old. I've been to say Rocky and Bullwinkle. So we got Angela doesn't understand.
Tails. Look at me. I had to go find out. Sonic and Tails. That's what
Sonic and Tails. Look, I said I'm old. Let's say Batman and Robin.
Right, or Batman and Robin. Right.
Or Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And listen, and even that's what I'm saying. Like, here, this is what I don't like about us either. How dare you go around and call any human being somebody's lapdog? That's so fucking disgusting and disrespectful. Of course, she not nobody's lapdog. You know, it's so nasty. And maybe that's why I can't be on reality TV, because that's just nasty work. But listen, I understand where you're going with it, and the proper term is a sidekick. And it ain't nothing wrong with being a sidekick as long as you're okay with it. You know, because everybody got their roles. Everybody can't be main character. And not for nothing, Shamea is one. We're watching that. Shamea is not built for a peach. Sorry.
Okay, you heard it here.
You might have the money. You can have the money. But that ain't enough.
So you saying she's not built for a peach because her and Porsha are on the same show?
No, it's because she's not giving us her authenticity. It's because we getting this projected view of her. And for me, that would say to me that you still not even comfortable in your skin, like, which is why we possibly didn't have any inclination, of this type of lifestyle or whatever. But then, remember I told you too, I want to know when they bought that house. Because it she's getting she's trying to be something else. And I can just
they said
right
Kim Zolciak.
huh?
They said Kim Zolciak is written from Shamea.
Well, good. Listen, that don't mean she should be on the Housewives.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
No,
that.
well, that's what I mean. Like, she can have the money, she can have a car, she can have all of that. It's nothing without your own personality. And I'm not saying Shamea don't have personality, but we waiting to see it.
Yeah.
We waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we waiting for you to show up. And Beyonce and Destiny's Child. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody escape. Everybody cannot be main character. Those 4 girls, they can probably sing on their own, but it don't work without them together. Because they not Candy, the biggest boss of them all. She's not a main character. It just is. It just is. I don't know. I don't make the rules. Talk to God about it. But yeah, no, Shamea is falling flat. And it's she's not as bad as Contessa, but it's giving me Contessa.
Oh shit. Do you think it's because of her first season or?
Yes. And but the odd part about it is that you've been in this world for so long. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Y'all cannot lie to me and tell me that there are not times when you listening to Shamea's talk and you're not saying to yourself, "Who is this hoe?" in your Kenya voice.
I don't know. I feel like she's throwing everything against the wall and seeing what stick and what they're gonna film.
Again, who is this hoe? Right.
So, I mean, because I would imagine.
Tell me that y'all ain't thinking that.
I would imagine.
And the only reason why you don't is because you don't like Porsha. I'm talking to y'all out there, the only reason why you wouldn't even be able to see what I'm saying is because you just don't like Porsha that bad. And if that's the case, you got a problem, son. Because you should be able to see past that.
I guess I don't get on the. I don't see what people really don't like about Porsha other than the.
Because they can't be like how because they can't be. You look what they say. They hate you because they ain't you. That's what.
Okay, whatever. I mean,
you ain't never heard that.
No, I'm just thinking that about Porsha.
Yeah, well, I think that. So probably people don't like when things come easy to people. People don't like when they, you know what I'm saying, when it seems like they, like they might go through something, but they bounce back up. And then, I mean, again, the whole like husband thing with Simon, all of that is a little like, blurred lines and stuff, but whose life hadn't been filled with that. But I think mainly it's just like, I think they just think Porsha got it easy. Like she just doesn't have to work for much. And people really don't, you would be surprised. People really don't like that. They like to see
I think the people that don't like her, just they like Kenya. So people who usually tend to be
Kenya, but why
like
do you
Porsha?
think Kenya didn't like her?
I don't know, because to me they
were.
I
felt like it was for that because she got everything and it ain't even about everything she wanted type of deal. But I do think that she thought that's why she would attack her about not being smart, not working. Like when she first got on, she didn't have respect for Porsha because she lived, was a housewife for Cordell, this, that, and the third. She was angry about that. That's all the fuck she ran our ears.
I mean, but okay, so I guess the thing I would have with that is that don't get me wrong, because I didn't like Kenya and I didn't like how she attacked her, and I was feeling like maybe she felt like it's gonna be her or Porsha. I don't know, but
It could.
I
I
feel like
mean, Kenya for sure had the goal of getting in and knocking everybody out. That
yeah.
she was gonna take everybody down, like, and it didn't even matter. It was just whichever number or whatever you came in. But I think, but she that's why I bring up Claudia. That's what I mean. Like when Claudia came in that season, that felt like, and the way she was coming for Porsha, it just was like, damn, like it did feel like because we got tired of seeing Kenya, and Kenya was mad that everybody was saying that's why that girl dragged you because of this. Like, you know what I mean? You keep doing this.
Yeah.
So they get this girl on. Now you put the battery in her back and go over there and listen to her on Carlos King. It don't take much to put it. The battery stays on charge in Claudia's back because she just went in on I don't even know which one she was going. It might have been Drew, I guess, but it because she friends with Mimi, so
Okay.
and stuff. So she just went in a whole tantrum about that. Mimi ain't asked her to do no shit like that. But so again, all it did to me was validate just what I've already seen in you. And you can tell me about it being edited, all of that. But the YouTube live, that's not edited. And you show up the same way. So that's why I'm like, no, I did think that was mostly like a come up for Kenya. But the second thing I think is that she got mad with Porsha because Porsha has a way of paying them dust. So again, you got somebody who she ain't got to work hard as you do, right? Then she got the nerves because you feel like I'm doing my thing, you somebody to aspire to. She got the nerve to not pay you no attention.
Well, at first I thought Porsha was fangirling out when she was, when they first met and they were
think
talking.
she did, but that's why Porsha did. Porsha was not even the same Porsha that we see.
Oh no,
today.
she was not.
Yeah, Porsha did, as most of us would. I was excited to see Kenya get on the show. I know it's funny because whoever was watching, but I knew who Kenya Moore was. I knew she had won that title, and I knew all of the stuff she had did. Even then, I have not follow her extensively, but I just like I say I always follow entertainment, and I just have a thing for dark skinned women. I'm gonna find out what they're doing. Like
I would think that. Well, to me, I felt like Kenya. You came in. She was more than 10 years older than this girl. Okay, so you had your chance in your young 30s. You probably could have had any pick of the litter of any man.
So that goes to my point about stuff being easy for her, for Porsha, and that getting under her skin. Because think about Kenya looking as beautiful as she is. Anybody walking up, that's why Kaya probably got the attitude. Those are bitter bitches. That's what the problem is. Now that I just thought about it, they bitter bitches because they walking around.
But they probably wouldn't have picked up. They probably would have never picked the Cordell. You know what I'm saying?
That's their problem. That's their fault. And I don't know about that. But what I'm saying is because whatever it is that you are waiting for, looking for, whatever that equates to, because it hasn't come easy to you, and now you looking at this girl and you like, oh, you people do it all the time. Oh, like you gotta do that, and so I don't know why favor ain't fair. Like nobody knows why one thing happens for somebody else and possibly don't happen for the other person, and you more accomplished and you got more of this and you smarter and you know what I mean? Like you can have all of that going on, but you didn't mention like you evil as hell. Maybe that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you're in okay, she's Atlanta raised, born and raised, okay? She's in Kenya's not. She's not from there. Well, I think when you're raised in a certain culture, you do those kind of things.
What kind of things?
Well, I believe that they believe in marrying down there because there's a Southern men. I'm more quicker than these men up north. And Kenya was in Hollywood. So, and she comes to Atlanta, where these Southern belles here, for the most part, are all married. She comes to
That
a
don't have
show.
nothing to do with her being hateful and
No,
jealous of
I'm just
somebody
saying
who
for
do.
the
Yeah.
women that's all on this show, she's the eyeball out. To me, Kenya was. I don't
At the
even see.
time she was.
Yes. So then when she did pick a man, she picked a man from up north. He came on the show and he dogged her out.
Right. So
So
again, that's what leads to her having vitriol for somebody who ain't got, you know what I mean? Who ain't, that ain't their story. Because she feels like, in comparison to who they are, that she shouldn't be going through that. I'm not saying that she think that somebody else should, but she doesn't think she should. And so when she watched she in close proximity with somebody that maybe she looks down on, and that's not even an opinion. The way that Kenya talked to Porsha is a lets you know that she looked down on her. She don't respect her. Um, so I mean, you know, it's people do that and behave that way, and it's terrible. Portia Williams is the face and brand of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She got Kenya Moore $2 million paycheck. Okay. They don't have nothing to do with what I'm saying. Sorry. Thanks for the information, though.
no, but I would think that I just when I was watching it, I just took that when I looked at Kenya versus Porsha, and I said, why would this older, much older woman, because she didn't come at needing them, didn't have to work hard. But you came for the new girl because you felt like you can bully her. That's what I think.
Absolutely. But she's not gonna be jealous of me. See, like that, like you gotta look at the whole picture. She's not gonna come for Nene, even though technically she did, right? That was after Nene wouldn't be her friend.
Yeah.
Nene had been the head, you know what I'm saying? So a smart person, as opposed to thinking, let me go attack her, would want to be friendly with her, you know. Nene wasn't having it. As a matter of fact, Kenya started with Cynthia.
Yes, she did.
And what you call it? So she didn't see it for Cynthia either. Kenya had placed these people based off of where they were in life. Like, and people do it all the time. She thought she was better than them because of where they were in life. That's it. So, like I said, you did literally join a show that whether you thought Nene had education, was she, you know, that it literally was, she was the head bitch in charge. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have no choice but to kiss up to her. But once she gave you her ass to kiss, now you know you got the motivation to be like, okay, well, because Kenya thinks of herself that way, and everybody should think of themselves, you know, as the best or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. So I mean, like I said, I think it doesn't negate that people treat you according to how they think about you, and the way they talk to you, like kind of lets you know how they respect you. Now you have people that just like have foul mouths, and maybe they just curse all the time and use bad language, yeah, you know, be ho, all of that. And so you can listen to that type of, I don't know who can, because you can't talk to me like that, not too much. But and you can listen to somebody talk like that and nothing is ever, you don't take anything personal. You know that this is conversation. But then there's a space where you can be talking to people. It happens at work and, you know, people's workplace and stuff. And there's a way that they can speak to you that lets you know that they don't respect you. You know what I mean? Like, and for whatever reason that be, sometimes it can be because if you don't know a person, if they don't like you, it can't be nothing but being jealous. What would you have to not like somebody you don't know. You know what I'm saying about. What do you say? These Housewives, the Real Housewives season 16 cast is not showing too much cleavage. Not
it
Angela.
is.
Well, I guess you mean only Angela Oakley is not. Honey, she older. Honey, she shouldn't be.
What Shamea say? Almost 60. Lord have mercy.
Yes. But see, like going to that, bring it back to Shamea, and let's get back to the current cast. But like that, it was funny. It was, cute. You gotta laugh, and we gonna run with it because she know we all think that. But it feel forced. It don't feel like that. Angela, she is coming through kind of like Stacey was on Real Housewives of Potomac. Better than Stacey though.
I was gonna say.
She coming in. She is like the first season all-star. I'm gonna actually do like a whole post about it, and I'm gonna give it to her because real talk. The best thing about Angela is it flow out of her mouth like
butter.
Right. Yeah, like water.
She's smooth with it.
Going back to, like, I always compare her to having that city trait, that Chicago trait. I compare her to that. And part of what I'm gonna do is that directness, that pulling, like how just what I was just saying about a friend. Like, no, you can't be my friend and you sitting up harboring some shit for some, you know what I'm saying, 3-4 years, and then think we about to come in, have shit out now. Come, because I'm gonna come to you directly, you know what I'm saying, and when it happened, so we can get this out. So to me, it could be a personality thing. I do group stuff into like cultures in cities because I think different cities and places have a different culture.
Yeah,
about how they do things. But that upfrontness for me is a Chicago culture. There's a shiesty culture as well, which that's where Drew is at. Right.
They say the Southern people have Southern charm, and Northern people are more upfront and real bold.
Direct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then Chicago, what I've heard, because I've never visited New York, but what a lot of people have always told me is that a lot of cities move the same. You know what I mean? Like it's fast and stuff. And I'm talking about like tourists and stuff.
Yeah.
The people are ruder in New York. So what that compares to is being able to ask somebody like, hey, what bus do I get, like to go here? Or, hey, where is this? Like, it's easier to get somebody to do that, but they gonna get right to it. You know what I'm saying? And tell you. And that's like going downtown, everybody moving because everybody going some fucking well. That's why they drive fast too, because we get somewhere out here. Like, I couldn't believe the doggone the speed limit on the highway was 55 miles. I'm like, 55 miles? Like, what? Y'all running around here sightseeing? The fuck? Yeah, we have places to go.
On the superhighway 55?
Yeah, on 465, it's 55 miles. I know it for a fact because I got a speeding ticket. Now, I thought they were.
Oh, when you're close, you're inside the city part, yeah. When you're close to the city parts, yeah.
Whatever. 465. Now,
I know what it is.
Yeah, 465. Whatever, and it don't change at a certain part. The whole damn thing is 55 miles. And all I'm saying is that's too fucking slow for a fucking highway. But again, I'm out in a place that's country.
Yeah, but that's not the super highway
all day to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And we, most city people, Chicagoans, like if you've grown up in that type of environment, I walk fast. Like you should see, like, yeah, I walk fast. I do everything fast. Like, 'cause I'm trying to get my shit done. I don't have all day.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the what do they call it? It's like the bypass. That's what that is.
Yeah, they need
Uh,
that. But I got a whole speeding ticket when I first moved out here, and that's what because I didn't even look at the thing. I was speeding anyway. Okay, I think I was going like 75, but
yeah,
I thought the speed limit was
so 70.
65 or 70,
Yeah,
right?
so 70 on 69 and 70 and 65 and all
Yeah,
those,
but
but not on
I scared
465.
it. So the police officer, the one that had to tell me, I was like, what? Like,
Yeah, a lot of times when you're coming into any city, when you go around their bypass, because you're getting off a lot of places, it's slower than what's on the superhighway.
I don't know. I had only lived where I lived, and
I
no
travel
matter
a lot.
where you get on the highway, you go 65 miles. Like if you coming from Indiana to go into Chicago, I don't even remember. Maybe on the Skyway, like because there's not even. I don't think there's any highway that's allowing you to go 70 miles an hour. But that's again because we're talking about a whole different like metro area. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of traffic in and out of that place. Um, so yeah, I don't like 70 is a if you able to go 70 on some type of highway, I know you in the country or you about to go somewhere long. You're not traveling like in the city limits, I guess, to me. That's my experience before moving here.
Okay, so then we're gonna go with Britt and her hubby, and they're talking about Angela and her sister. And she says what Angela has said and talk about her sister. We got Drew. She's excuse me, I messed that one up. Drew and her son. No, sorry. We got oh
Drew
my
just
goodness.
talking to the therapist.
With Drew and her son, I think that's when I left. But Drew is
Oh.
with her son first, and then she's talking with the therapist about what Porsha had stated about the text that Dennis has said.
Basically, her feelings hurt that the people spreading rumors, and she decided to call up her life coach and therapist to talk to him about what she should do about it.
So then we have Porsha at the going to the place where the event is, and her cousin, I forgot her name, but the cousin that passed away. And it looks like Blondie did it. You said Londi?
Londi.
Londi did a great job, I thought, because I really liked the event. So we also have, then we got Britt and
Did we talk about Porsha and you on mute?
okay, me touching these papers, which is touching the laptop thing. Okay, Porsha and Angela meets at Angela's rental house because Angela says she's not going to have someone who says they're going to mess with her husband at her house. So Porsha meets Angela's daughter, and I like some of the shade they was throwing. Porsha talks about how long Angela's arms are, and Angela says she didn't know. She's saying we know what all Big Bird can do, and she called her Snuffleupagus, I guess, to play on her eyelashes. And they talk about the Pamper by Porsha event, and they get to talking about Drew and how Porsha says that Drew tried to get Dennis to sleep with her, I guess for payment. And then Angela makes the comment about booty for beats. Then Angela talks about Shamea putting sauce on when she's carrying back or being the bone collector and carrying back the bone. And
is
how
she putting sauce on it? I don't think she is.
Well, with the way I thought, the way the Porsha took it, like she put sauce on it, because
how you take something ain't got nothing to do with it. But I didn't think that she put sauce on it. I feel like Angela is being very upfront, and as the bone collector or the newly appointed bone collector,
I didn't say Angela. I said Shamea. Angela said Shamea was putting sauce on what.
Oh, okay.
On with Porsha, which she carried back to Porsha. And so, because she was saying
and I didn't think she put no sauce on it either.
I don't
feel
think
like that is the way Drew said it. Drew, yeah, that
yeah,
is.
but the way Porsha said that she was talking about her child. I don't believe that.
It was semantics. They all she pulled that Kenya move. You know, they all do
Yeah.
that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all
So
you gotta do is just be in the category of where, you know, something is like, oh, she feared for her and her child's life. Girl, what's her name? Brooklyn wasn't nowhere around that place. How the hell you just go and
she's trying to
pull
take food out of my baby's mouth. That's what she
yeah.
said. How I feed my daughter.
Little stuff.
So yeah, so
Like, I feel like that's ignorant stuff. Those are the type of people I can't even talk to. Like if we gonna do that, don't even talk to me no more.
So then we have Angela. She goes on to talk about the relationship between her, Porsha, and Shamea, and basically saying that Shamea doesn't want to be the lap dog any longer, and the relationship is lopsided. Lopsided friendship. Porsha begins to cry about it.
So that is, for me, this is the scene that I felt like they were having a real problem in their friendship. I think I felt like most people where I wasn't quite sure, especially at the top of the season, because it was kind of like in my mind, I'm thinking, and of course we saw previews, I'm thinking for sure they probably went through a little something. But I'm thinking by the time they came to the reunion or whatever, like they probably be, you know, back cool. But as we got in, as the season started and stuff, we kind of just started to notice. So that was kind of the thing that I thought, like, well, maybe they planned it up, you know, like because it is the season, and you know, like they want to get people more interested, you know, and nothing get people interested in stuff than mess, you know. And even though I'm saying it because I'm watching it too, you know, like so I am part of the problem. And so yeah, so it just would benefit you to egg this part on, you know. However, that scene when she put it was the motion of her putting that fan over her face. Because and for me, I thought to myself, that's exactly what you would do if you got caught off by something and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Like here you are, like, because she didn't come there for that. You know what I mean? Like she ain't had no idea that that's what the hell Angela was about to lay on her. And it feels like a betrayal. Whether Porsha has kept up with her end of, you know, her friendship bargain or not. Again, you my friend of 20 some odd years, and this bitch I've been knowing for 4 months is sitting here talking to me. You know what I'm saying? About because she, and again, because I was like, if she wasn't so upset, she probably should have went off on her. Y'all just made up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I'd have had to let Angela know, like, I don't give a damn what you talking about. Like, you not the one to come talk to me about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's her. But that's the problem. That didn't happen. Porsha seemed like she was really caught off guard. Possibly, maybe they talked about it, and possibly maybe that because I do think that I am feeling like we missing something.
I didn't think it was enough to cry about.
That I don't know if it was enough to cry about, but all I'm saying is I guess that's the point. Maybe to your point, saying it wasn't enough to cry about. The fact that she got emotional about it says that she did feel. I feel like that probably she felt some type of betrayal. And it go back to me again saying I'm almost certain they had some sort of pact about the way that they was going to deal with stuff on this show. You know, I can't imagine that they didn't have any conversation about it. And at the very least, the conversation is we are going to talk to each other, you know, and possibly off camera. So when that happens, that go back to me saying, I think it's Shamea that at least broke that agreement. All the other stuff, you know, well, cool. But this the more recent, this is what's going to cause the rift. And this is another thing that's got me looking sideways at Shamea, because once you kind of did this, where you the bird going to these other people, giving them this information, when we get down to the meditation series, and it's time for you to like basically own up to these conversations, you know, like you've had with these other people. Now it comes it goes back to something 10 years ago that feel like a setup. That feel like a setup. If you mad at me right now today, you better have something that happened in the last, 60 days, 90, this fucking year. You know what I mean? Like it can't be something from 10 years. So I am really looking at Shamea like she might be the one causing this particular rift. Again, I'm not saying it's not warranted. I'm not, because that's not me saying Porsha been a good friend to her, but it feel off. And actually, nothing about that type of movement is a good friend either. Maybe Shamea say, "Fuck it, I'm tired of being a good friend." I don't know, but that sucks too because you got
she done on what happened last.
She did, but that's what I mean. But what sucks about that too is you gonna throw this friendship away.
Well, I don't think Porsha is speaking to her, right?
Let alone hold on to a friendship. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, I don't think Porsha is speaking to her, is she?
That I don't think they're speaking to each other. Well, I mean, you're right, but I think that Shamea had kind of said that she had reached out to her, and she did. She? Am I making that up?
I think it's in the next episode. I mean,
okay, look, here I go. Am I making that up?
I think she was trying to talk to her over dinner or something, and seems like Pressure was not receptive or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, that I think I saw a little bit extra of that because I saw some of that conversation. But I think that conversation is coming out of this meditation thing we about to get into because the conversation they end up getting into there. But yeah, again, back to that. I think that was what made me feel like, okay, this is really happening to their friendship. And like I told y'all before, I don't want to see their friendship break up. I really don't. Like, I really, really don't. Because I think even stuff does go wrong in relationships, even with your friendship. But that's why it's important for you to be able to go and hash it out with your friend. And it's hard. Like, if you can find somebody that y'all ride together like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you try to salvage that, I would think, but I know, so maybe everybody can't go with you. And Shamea is clearly ushering in her new chapter. It sucks that her new chapter might not include Porsha. And oh damn, I just had another thought. And maybe that would indicate the jealous person was Shamea, or is Shamea.
Girl, I ain't got that now.
No, well, because what I'm saying is, if it's taking Shamea to have somebody else get on the show and start to point out these,
I don't think it took nobody to point out anything. It seems like Porsha is generally not happy for her. That's what it.
Okay, because you saying just with that part. Now, okay, dear, okay. Okay, so no. Even with that, no, because all of it is really about Shamea not addressing her. That's really that.
I don't think she wants to address her in front of her. I don't think she wants to address her in front of them. I think.
Yeah, well, what we found out. So go ahead and go to the next scene, because what we found out is she hasn't addressed her at all. It ain't even about being in front of them. Y'all ain't talked about this at all.
Okay, so here we go. We got Brent and Kelly arriving. They're together, so they're going to the event, and Kelly's talking about Mike and her sister Cher. Okay, then we have Drew. She arrives. Brent and Kelly, they walk in. I did not like. I ain't like neither one of the outfits. Say true, and whatever. But they get the drinks from the bartender, which was the double fish drink. So the way the party is set
Let
up, or
me explain that. I be feeling so old. The double, that was not the name of the drink. And I think it was something else on another review. I think the Kempire thought that that was his way of like flirting with them. And so it was, and maybe because people got this, I don't know, maybe double fist means something else today. But double fisting means you have two drinks, a drink in this hand and a drink in this hand. That's all. So, and most bartenders, if you go to a bar and if you order two drinks at the same time, like a drink and a beer, somebody is double fisting. You double fisting tonight? You know, like that's what that's called. I just want
honey,
to get
you're
that
speaking
off
to
my
a person
chest.
who don't drink, so
Huh?
it went
Oh
over
yeah,
my
then
head. So,
somebody said like
and I
I
didn't
just
think
want to
nothing about it.
get
I
off
just
my
thought it
chest.
was the name.
I saw people talking about surrounding the double fisting. I'm like, damn, are you people like what? You ain't been nowhere, ain't been to college, ain't been to a bar, and I know y'all didn't order more than one drink at the same time. But yeah, but double fisting is having a drink in each hand.
I think they
And
were
usually
already.
that mean a person might be drink. So like, and that's what I say. Like you go to a bar, if
I think
I
their minds was in the gutter. That's why,
uh,
Kelly. I think their minds were in the gutter.
clearly, yeah,
Because
well, clearly, yeah, that's what I say. Because clearly, double fisting might have a different meaning today. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, but that's what everybody was on that, and it's like, what? Like,
I
no, that
think
man was not flirting with them because
yeah,
that's what they were saying. She was like, "Is that the name of the drink?" And he like, "No." He literally said, "Which no, it's not the name of the drink." He say, "Oh, you double fisting because she picked up two drinks."
yes, well, I think
But
they
she
already
didn't
came
even
in.
know what she meant by the stretch marks around her mouth. So
But she came
Brittany's
in
not
there
that
looking like
bright.
she's gonna be a porn star to me.
She did. Brittany's not that bright.
So they get there, and then we have a setup where they're gonna have massages for the lady, a photo shoot, the meditation sound bath type deal. Is that kind of like Reiki, what they were doing a little bit or something?
I feel like it's all in the same family.
Okay. And then Drew makes the comments about the sheets and that she don't do promos for free. There's no contract and all this kind of
Oh
stuff.
my God. Here go Drew with her delusional
She said
ass.
that she
Like,
so
Drew, wait, let's stop right there. What she say? Yeah, oh, that's why she asked me here because I made a
that's
lot of
a lot of
money
money
to go
for her.
naked. B.
Girl.
Like, who? Where? Like, girl, if you was making a lot of money for the thing, you think that girl would have terminated your contract?
Girl,
And
what she would have been getting unemployment. Come on now. She got unemployment. So I don't know when the Go Naked contract
well, because of what Drew does, so that's y'all crazy.
she only got $4,000.
We gotta put on our thinking caps, y'all. Put your thinking caps on. Y'all know that Drew is she is an actress and she is a singer. And while we don't know any of her stuff per se outside of that, I'm saying if she's collecting unemployment, she's not collecting it from Porsha. That's not how brand deals.
I know this. No, I know she was a contractor. I'm saying if she was making so much money, it's for this brand that she wouldn't have to have drawn unemployment. Is what I'm saying. Not the $4,000.
Saying that if she was making, because unemployment aside, if she was making that much money for that company, Porsha would not have terminated your contract. Like that, we don't even have to go no further than that because you're talking about somebody who is basically in the same position you in, which y'all need to get out here and work. So you probably wasn't bringing her in that much money. Maybe a little bit, but I like Drew. I'm not here for it. Like, no, if anything, you should really be thanking Porsha because she just upgraded you. You want to act like you upgraded her business? Like, girl, go back in the hole you crawled from because it's not fucking true. Like, it's not true.
Because I don't see.
Drew proves herself to be more delusional every time she opened her mouth. Like talking to your therapist about a fucking rumor, and you are a grown ass lady. About a rumor on a reality show at that. This what bury this show. Like
Girl, she only got the therapist because she on the
shows. Who is this hoe? I can't with Drew. I cannot. Shamea is just like Porsha. I see, and that which would lend itself to how they was able to be friends for so long. I said that before. Like for somebody else, even though it can look lopsided to us, if they've been friends that long, it has been mutually beneficial for the both of them. I don't give a shit what that means. Who gave what? Whatever anybody was giving and getting, they was happy with it. She said, I need to join you. Lots combo. I know, right? I talk too much. Sorry. My bad. But yeah, like I was, and so I do think that it's more of the girls, and that's why I say I do think it's just more of Shamea. I am putting that part on her, and again, I'm not. That doesn't leave Porsha without blame. But I'm just saying, I think Shamea is the one that broke the code. She's the thirstiest to break the code. Porsha almost know that she don't have to give them anything this year. She really don't. They're more than likely gonna ask her back. The reason why I say that she not coming back, I think it's gonna be a her thing. I don't think she feeling this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she is kind of looking like the coming in as the underdog, but maybe she felt like she should have been the top dog. You know, so that's the reason why I'm thinking she won't come back. But yeah, Shamea is the problem. Yeah, she can play it. I hate that manipulative shit. She can play it, go talk to whoever will listen about anything else. But as soon as you going into something about some 10 years ago, you are the fucking problem. Like you are the problem. And I pointed that out, whatever episode that was, when she got on that bus and went to the back of that bus and started crying about some lady sending her a text about her ex-husband that was beating on her 15, 16 years ago. I knew it then. She is a scary friend after everything Porsha done. Y'all forgave each other, had babies, got married. Now, I don't know exactly what Porsha done for her, but maybe we'll find that out.
So do you think that, so you believe that, or think that Angela
and Kelly.
No, I'm Angela and Shamea, when they were having the conversation, that Shamea was the one who brought up, because Shamea said those words did not come out of her mouth. She said everybody already knew that Porsha did not come to her wedding, and they had already worked through it.
So what I think happened, I feel like there's always a little bit of truth in everything. Shamea, I think on Watch What Happens, I think said that she was talking to the girls. So what's being presented as she's come to me in this distraught way, you know, like to talk to me about her friendship with you. Like that's the way it's being brought to Porsha. I don't think that's the way it happened. I think the way it happened is what we keep flashing back to, which is they had a scenes and they all sitting around and they're asking questions. So going back to what I said, that's why this Real Housewives of Atlanta just really needs to be done, because of course Kelly and Angela would know that Porsha didn't go to that wedding. To Shamea's point, it's been 10 years ago. If you've been watching the show, if you know either one of them, you more than likely know that information. You know what I'm saying? So would that be a question somebody just meeting you and trying to get to know you in this atmosphere would ask you? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that I don't think that Shamea sat down with them and offered that information to them. it was asked to her. I think the issue comes in where, like I said, she said it on Watch What Happens. Because remember, this, even though she's been on the show, she hasn't been to the forefront. So all of this other stuff is all new to her. She don't know how to go and talk to Andy and maybe not say certain things to keep up what she needed to, to keep up. But she literally said it out, out her mouth, is that then they start to return back. Well, didn't that hurt your feelings? And now you got baited. That's basically what it is. You got baited. So now you're in this conversation. And again, it does feel like a betrayal, because now you're in this conversation with people you barely know, and you are discussing, the ins and outs of your friendship with me in a way that allows them to twist it around. So that's what I think we saw. Why Shamea Morton is pressed right now was a friend RHOA. Well, Say, do you reckon the hate Porsha was getting is the possibility of the pettier friend will get all the smoke? Well, yeah, and I think Porsha's an easy target. I mean, I like what I say. Like, I just say that in the sense of, because we have that information, it's easy. It is easy to pin it on her, like she the bad friend. I mean, maybe she is. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, Shamea is moving funny, and I think it's her that's causing this issue. I think if she didn't want the issue to happen, it wouldn't be happening. Yeah, it wouldn't be happening. So, she sat there at that mediation. Are we still talking about that?
Yeah.
The way she sat
there, up.
So,
but I thought Lauren was probably kind of being messy about it, though.
I felt like Lauren was too.
Because I'm like, okay, what this got to do with this?
Well, if you like, Porsha may have.
Yeah, because she told her what happened. Yeah. So if somebody offended you or whatever sound they were supposed to make or whatever, I thought, come on, Lauren. Y'all over here stirring the pot. So then they were supposed to say, I guess, have their little questions or whatever with each other so they can get things out. But yes, at the mediation part, when they were supposed to be lying back and taking everything in and releasing, Shamea sat straight up, and then we evidently little Kelly wasn't mediating either, because she got up meditating, because she got up and went over there and basically told Porsha that everything you told Angela, she done went back and told Porsha. So, and they're sitting there having their little sidebar while Porsha telling them to be quiet, because they supposed to be.
That's why I said when we watched Kelly and Angela scene, that scene looked like it was them plotting together, even though it wasn't presented. It's presented as a conversation, but it looked like they were talking to each other in some particular code. Like Angela said, well, I think Shamea needs to just say, do this and the other. And here's my thought about that. What conversation y'all having that led you to have to do that, outside of y'all figuring out that, okay, you gonna be the one to, usher for that to happen? That's what I saw. Because it ain't no, like, I don't remember Kelly asking you what you thought Shamea should do. I don't know why that came out your mouth. So, and then we get to that part, I thought it was interesting that it's y'all two talking, you and Kelly.
Yes. I said them the two working. They were the two working, and they stirring the pot over there. And I'm like, okay, so we got Kelly over there in Shamea's ear, and we got Angela in Porsha's ear.
Basically.
And then Angela thinks Porsha needs to speak up for herself. And then here goes Britt. Say it, Porsha. Say it, Shamea. And I'm like,
yeah, like they in church or something, like she getting ready to give a testimony. That's right. But you know what? Britt, even though she another, that's what Contessa do. Figure out a way, because honey, we wouldn't even known you was there. So I guess you just had to figure out a way to get in the conversation.
I said, and the only way we knew that to me, Drew was there because of Ralph was in the scene. Because Drew didn't have very much to say this episode or last episode to me. And
right. She's too busy crying about this rumor. Andy Cohen pettiness came out on What's Happening Live. Andy stay petty. That's his job.
Yeah. Petty and messy.
Right, that is his job, honey. What she say? Shamea and Porsha are twins. Shamea is scared of the whole book coming out. What's the whole book, girl? She in the whole book? Tell me more. I want to know. I want to know. Tell me more. Be careful, Shamea. Hey, I don't know. Shamea,
I believe, they're friends. They've been friends.
What Portia's mom said to her, that even though it was out of place, like for what she said, but what she said was right. It is true. Be careful of the dog that bring the bone. You know what I'm saying? Like, because kind of what we seeing is that, you having these conversations over here, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's somebody bringing it, and it would all be over if they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Shamea ain't innocent. She been partying with Porsha for 20 years. Oh, well, that's the point. That's the point.
And birds of the feather flock together.
But from her appearance on Watch What Happens Live last night, Shamea ready to get it started, honey. She looked dead in that doggone camera and said, basically, she said their friendship is over
with
for the most part. Done. Yeah.
But I would imagine, we going back to the whole book, I'm pretty sure, their friends, they both know shit on each other. Point blank. They did all the whatever, because they ain't in their 20s no more. They're in their 40s.
And they probably was doing it together.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how, me and my long-term friends, we've been friends since the 3rd grade. So, we did a lot of stuff together, but I just, as far as this episode goes, I hate the fact that you can see the end of their relationship.
Yeah.
Well, they both married.
Now it looks worse. I don't know. I mean, as long as she's not out doing it now.
Yeah. Because Porsha was married.
Yeah, right.
And this is Shamea's second marriage. She just said she got whooped on by that man. He knocked her out of her shoes.
He knocked her out of her shoes. Okay.
So, and he was somebody very prominent. She didn't mention his name.
Andy Cohen has his favorite housewives until they are not. Ask Nene Leakes, ask Bethany Frankel, ask Ramona Singer, like until they are not. So it's Andy Cohen is no different than the corporation you work for. You as good as it is until while the good is getting until you are not. And when it's time for you to go, they'll usher another person right on behind you.
Yes, Shamea was married before.
We don't really know. I can't remember. Like she
didn't give his name.
Yeah,
they were married.
I think he might have been. Was he an athlete? He might.
I don't know. Somebody prominent is what.
Oh yeah, said. I felt like he was somebody. And she was in an abusive relationship. I think they was only married like a year or something. It was a really short marriage. Just
like Porsha's. Were they married a year?
Yeah, they was only like 2 years. It was very short. So that's all we know about him, though, which, again, it's 15, 20 years ago at this point. Andy Cohen hasn't got favorite housewives when it comes to Black women. Well, it was Nene, but what I'm saying about it in general, he does. Giselle might be his favorite, or Karen when they come over to. He absolutely has favorites. It's whoever bringing in the ratings and the dollars.
Exactly. It's about the money.
Yeah.
When that money dry up, you ain't the favorite no more.
For a long time, baby. Nene could tell him to jump, honey, and he gonna say how high and what time do you need me to do it? Because she was bringing it in until she went off the rails, you know, and said all the stuff she said.
It's Shamea's first marriage. He has money and well known.
Right? Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But so go ahead. What you thinking about the episode?
I feel like it was really, really messy. I hate to see real friends. I mean, like when I was saying that Porsha probably really didn't want her on the show because of this. It's okay to be over here fighting and feuding with bitches you don't really know. You meet on the show, or we're in just, we're cordial, we just happen to be in the same social settings. But I've never fell out with my friends, and I don't have a lot of them. I might not talk to them every day, but these bitches I've been friends with since 3rd grade, in 7th grade, and one friend since I was 6. I'm 52 years old. We ain't never fell out or none of that stuff. We know the dirt on each other. We know all that. We know where all the bones are buried. But for my friend to come on the show that I'm on and we are actively beefing with each other about really kind of nothing. And, Porsha says shady stuff. And with the women, I feel like, and like what Cynthia was saying, she hate that it seems like the women were trying to break up their friendship. And
let me chime in with that. This is the time when I thought, Cynthia, why are you here? Because
she wasn't hardly on the show this episode either.
Well, I didn't necessarily think that comment was necessary. Maybe we missed something before then. Like maybe it was something else she said, but I just thought, like, okay, thanks for that. You know what I mean? It felt like just commentary. It didn't add to anything. And another thing I thought about Cynthia is that I saw on this episode, I said that's why they call you a flip-flopper. Because she was talking to, who was she talking to? Kelly. She was talking to somebody, and she was kind of like, oh, well, I can understand like how you feel about that. And so what I thought about Cynthia, the reason why she go both ways is because it's up to who you talking to. You know what I mean? Like if I could talk to somebody, it could be my friend. You can tell me the scenario or what have you. Even as a friend, like if I have to be like you say, well, tell me what you think about this. And, is this okay or whatever? And I have to say like, well, like maybe, like I got to give it to them. Like, yeah, no, that's not cool. As opposed to like, well, no, I understand what you mean. And yeah, like you okay to feel that way. It's like, no, if you tell me the story and I'm like, yeah, no, you tripping. I'm going to let you know you tripping. Cynthia is not able to do that. And maybe it's because they're not real friends. Maybe she just kind of like, I'm just here to be on the show. So maybe that's what I'm saying. In real life, I'm just saying I literally just saw that in this episode, and it was like, okay, that's why everybody call you a flip-flopper, because you don't seem to have a definitive until everybody else has a definitive, and then you kind of go with that.
Bravo can get any other woman in the first season.
Bravo could not get any women in the first season besides, who is Ben?
I don't know who that is. Elaborate. Who is Ben?
Yes, who is Ben? What are we talking about, Ben? But I mean, yeah. So that go back. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm enjoying the season. The season is just coasting. I think I rated it a 6.
Maybe
And
make
like
10.
I said, I almost can start a campaign to let's just go on and let's put the stake in this. Get ready to bury it on in the ground. It's been a good run. At least they can leave out
On a high note.
somewhere. Yeah, like not where that other shit was last season, because that was horrible. But maybe they can leave out, because at this point, I don't give a doggone who you go find to bring onto this show. It's not going to be authentic. It's not going to be what we want to see from housewives. Even though they're in inauthentic situations, it is good to see people that they all on the same playing field. Nobody has been here longer than the other. No, so there's nobody necessarily having to take down or go get, or everybody's just in the same place. And that's what I left with this. I'm like, yeah, because like them being able to come and pull this information and start this rift over something 10 years ago. The irony to that is that I'm almost sure we're not going to talk anything about the situation Phaedra left. I don't know if
No.
with Candy or what, but ain't nobody asking a question about it. Andy ain't asked. Ain't nobody said.
You don't think they're gonna ask that at the reunion? Kelly
don't
better
know.
get on her job.
If it was anybody, and I think I had said that if it comes up, it's gonna have to come out of one of those other girls' mouths. But
yes,
yeah, but no, it doesn't seem. It seems like, and here's the thing: we are watching reality TV, but it's like what I say about TV land, like what I was saying about Kenya. Like even though that happened, it was a big controversial thing, but the way TV works is when you gone, you gone. Like we just gonna forget about you, and we really gonna forget about all the stuff. Like, and TV is the thing in which you 12 today and 20 tomorrow.
yes.
So
Miss Dime.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring it up.
Miss Dime, the ratings aren't the same. That's why they don't pay like they used to. They're not, things are different. We're in a different time. People are streaming. They don't have the same amount of views anymore. So that's why.
Well, I do think that. I think budget is budget. Yeah. I feel like they probably could have paid. If they had OG, so I think there's like an underlying rule. Most of the housewives, I think it's like the first to 3 seasons, like, and you can tell if you pay attention to what they look like. Going back to Drew, like you can tell. This is the first season. She is actually going to be collecting a decent paycheck. She was getting like a little few twos and fews here from the other seasons, because when you're a new wife, you like lowest on the totem pole and you don't know if you stick around. So most new housewives are not coming in making the same as what the other ones are making. They're making a couple $100,000, and it's based off the episode. So that's another thing. You can find this out. You just got to put your thinking cap on and pay attention. So that's why you see everybody backflipping to be in scenes and making sure that they in there, because they get paid per episode. It's not a flat thing. And so here's what we know for a fact. Bravo treats their black castmates different than their white castmates. Period. Stop. I don't give a damn.
This is America. It's America.
It's right. And it's them for sure. I don't give a damn what show it is. And even though Real Housewives of Atlanta by itself put that entire fucking network on the map, they would not have been able to put on Below Deck, Summer House, Vanderpump Rules, none of that bullshit if it wasn't for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because what nobody's checking for, and even I was watching Orange County Housewives. They barely was checking for that. Like I said, all of this other stuff came because Housewives of Atlanta blew up. And then that's when Watch What Happened started. That wasn't even going before then. I think he was doing something, maybe it was once a week, maybe something like that. But yeah, and with the ratings, I think that just goes about if they're gonna come back or not. But this is what I want to go back to the show about them doing the differences, because this just came up and I'm gonna do a small video about it. I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch Summer House Martha's Vineyard. So there's a summer house with a cast of white people.
And a cast of black.
And yes, Martha Vineyard, which they have been on for 8, 9, I don't know how many seasons, something like that, right? 8, 9 seasons, something like that. And Martha's Vineyard, unfortunately, only had 2, and those were barely seasons, because that's, pay attention to the episodes that you get also. The point I'm making to get to is New York Housewives had to be recasted because of Ramona Singer saying some foul shit at the Black Shabbat dinner. They didn't do reunion because basically Ramona outed herself as, I don't know if she's a racist, but she's somewhere in the vicinity of racist, right? Somewhere around there. And they didn't, and you, reality stars, they don't get scripts. You don't, like, so you don't know what they're going to say. So they didn't do it. That's how you got a whole new New York Housewife cast. New York, Ramona Singer just posted a picture of some petty person. I didn't know who this person was until I saw Preston point it out, because then Dorinda came up under there. Dorinda was telling her how good she looked. Apparently, whoever this guy was, she was at some fundraiser or something. He killed somebody, or excuse me, unalived somebody, and I guess was found not guilty.
Okay.
So everybody gets in the comments and, you know, like they are basically outraged and flabbergasted. And so that's what, and so Martha's Vineyard, like I said, they have been canceled. And so one of the guys, Preston, which he had always been an advocate, is not something he wasn't doing.
Oh, they're canceled. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, they got canceled. And so he just pointed out, you know, that these are the state, like, even after they canceled New York Housewives, all they did was plan a girls trip for them. And they had Luann, Ramona, and that just go on a girls trip, which is felt like you didn't punish her at all. You cleaned up New York Housewives and got rid of Ebony, but you kept this person who, you know, probably should never have been let back on the network again. So I brought all of that up just to say that it is so apparent to any of us that really are like Bravo holics. If you're a Bravo holic, it is evident that they do not treat their black shows the way that they treat the other shows. Married to Medicine is an example too. They don't even get the same type of budgets and stuff. I don't even think, as a matter of fact, speaking of Married to Medicine, they had the nerve to have the people from Southern Charm. Who else was there besides the couple people from, anyway, wasn't nobody there from Married to Medicine that I saw. That I'm just saying that. And like I say, they do them wrong. They do them wrong.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Say yes, it's how many episodes they're on, but their contracts already state 20 or 30 episodes. Hence why Nene said they cut her episodes so they stopped negotiating. I mean, Miss Dime, I don't like talking about contract. Like, sometimes I think there are conversations that we don't really need to get into because they neither one of us seen, saw, or signed an NBC, Bravo contract. I think that anything that NBC Universal decides to do with the people that have signed contracts with them, they're gonna do it within the limits of what their contracts say. Uh, Nene was just upset, which most people would be. If you sign a contract up front and as a staple on the show, what Nene was used to was being in every episode. She wasn't used to having backlash. And that's what she got because she was talking to the producers crazy. Don't nobody hire you and pay you millions of dollars to come and treat the workers crazy. But yeah, but I like to say I don't. We can discuss the very like basic things about a contract, but trying to figure out how many episodes they told a person they can be in and that. I'm not talking about that with y'all. Y'all can discuss that in the comments.
We really don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. We speculating.
Wait, not for nothing. You probably ain't never seen a contract, let alone a Bravo, reality TV contract. So I don't get into those conversations. But we do know that what I just said was a general synopsis, and that's generally how those contracts go. Also, with the addition, which we talked about, that if they had a businesses, that's that Bethany clause, because she came on and made $40-something million from New York Housewives. Mm-hmm. And so they added a clause that said if those people put their businesses on there, they have to pay them a percentage. Mm-hmm. of what their revenue is, i.e. Porsha putting Pampered by Porsha on them. Because it is advertised, like in the grand scheme of things, it's advertising that you don't want to pay for real. Like the best thing to do is fine, get them a cut and go and put your business up on the show that's, pumped out everywhere. Mm-hmm. New York Housewives, even OC, have sued Bravo and kept them on the network after. All right, Miss Dime, because I don't know.
It's beyond my scope. That's beyond my scope of knowledge here.
But that's what I mean. I don't even know who she's talking about, because Bethany and Nene got together. They don't fuck with Bethany. They ain't been fucking with Bethany for a long time. And that's why, because she went on that. Same thing, Brandy, because I don't even think we're gonna get to see that ultimate girls trip. Brandy and Caroline and a couple of the others was on, but Caroline ended up accusing Brandy of like some sort of inappropriate behavior. She took that to Bravo. They don't mess with Caroline, so I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But again, we're clear on the fact that they do treat them different. Mm-hmm. That's clear. There's no question about that. No question.
So what do you so you say you rate this? Okay, Miss Dime, would you rate this episode then?
Yeah, what would you rate the episode this week?
Did you Andre? From 1 to 10.
We got a new we do have a new Housewives show coming up, Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Yeah, and not for nothing, even though they didn't say, but I'm kind of saying, I mean, it's Rhode Island. I don't know why you would need to have New Jersey and Rhode Island. I feel like they in the same area. Are they?
Maybe the culture is a little different. I would imagine that Rhode Island is more slower.
I'm telling y'all, because Jersey on pause anyhow. So what I'm saying is, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a nice way to just put Jersey out and bring in, because Jersey has ran its course too. A lot of these shows that's been in over a decade, which most of them have, they've run their course. The people on there have run their course. Like, they really have. And it's no point in trying to add newer people on with the old people, like it. But what we saw with New York, the first season with that all cast, it worked. But the second season, it was just like, ew. So that's why I'm kind of at the point where if y'all like just usher a new city in, let us get a new city, new people, new all of that, and we can go ahead and usher the old people out.
What city?
Retire.
What city?
What city? What?
You said usher in a new city. What city would you
Well,
like?
I would watch Rhode Island. Let's think about. I don't even honestly. I don't know what city because like Salt Lake City. I remember when they announced that they was gonna do Salt Lake City. I'm thinking to myself, what
Bunch
the
of
hell is
Mormons.
going on in Salt Lake City? Right?
Mormons.
Like, and turns out it's a whole lot of shit
What's up
going
going
on
on?
down
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Turns out who the fuck knew, right? So I'm just saying that I'll leave that to the people who do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll leave that to the people who do it. Because again, Salt Lake, like it can be a city in which maybe it's off the cuffs. Maybe it does introduce other people to, to that. Like again, so the only thing I knew about Salt Lake City was like that's where all the Mormons were.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
even know Mormons was it was ignorant. I didn't necessarily know they was everywhere else. I thought they was all right there.
No, they
That's
come.
what
Some
I'm
of them
saying.
go
This is
door
ignorant.
knocking.
Like it was ignorant, but for real. Like I thought that was kind of in my mind. I literally because I used to hear the commercials like, what is it? The Latter
Jesus
Day
Christ, the
Saints.
Latter-day Saints.
I didn't know that that's what they were. Like,
You know, Gladys Knight was Mormon.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't
Mhm.
know that that's what they were. So I just thought it was just a different, like Catholic, Baptist. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, essentially it is, but because it was called more, like I didn't get the word association. And yeah, I knew that was in Utah. So I thought anybody that was that was a, and I didn't realize the truth. I'm telling on myself, y'all. We all have Porsha moments, okay? I realized the truth when I moved to Indianapolis because this is where I run into the most people, like personally, who are like my kids went to school, with kids who, yeah, and was doing their missions and stuff like that. So that's what I was like. Almost like I thought I was like, he Mormon?
Yeah,
Really?
because they didn't let blacks in until the 70s, honey.
Uh,
They didn't let blacks in the faith until the 70s.
honey, shit. They done got a little man today, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Gladys Knight was one. Lord have
Y'all
mercy.
can have it, okay? From what them people be talking about. And it's so silly to me. Whatever. I ain't gonna talk about y'all too bad. Praise the Lord. Pass the plate.
We like to see Houston. Okay.
Okay, Houston
Houston
might
be
be
nice.
good. Houston might, but well, what else? I feel like maybe not like a big city, because I kind of feel like Chicago might be one people ask for. I don't know that I want to see a Real Housewives of Chicago. I feel like for the for what Housewives represents, like the what is it, what they call it, luxury lifestyle
Mhm.
or aspirational, right? For what they want to create. I feel like you probably need cities that have more of that particular culture. I feel like Chicago is a working city. Even if you got money, you working, like I guess like New York. Like that was one of the housewives, like basically they all worked outside of, I think Luann didn't.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But they was working. And I don't know, like, yeah, but you said anything but these ones they got. Like, yeah, I'm open for. I'm open.
So, are you looking for young housewives or old? Because it sounds like you're looking for people with old money.
No, I feel like so funny you would say that, because I think that is, I think that's the demographic for this show. Would be like a 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like you in some place where it makes sense that you're established. Like we're not trying to look at the baddies, or you know what I'm saying, like the love and hip hoppers. And that's what the thing. Nobody needs to regurgitate somebody else's, you know what I'm saying, stuff. Like there are spaces for somebody young younger. So yeah, I would mid-30s might be okay, but I'm okay with the demographic that they started out with, which I feel like those ladies was in their 40s, mid-30s, something like somewhere around there. And I think that's okay to stay in that demographic. We just need new people. Because that's the point in like watching the old people. That's a lot of my point of why I'm saying some of these older shows can go ahead and just be phased out because everybody's story has run its course. Teresa Giudice has been on New Jersey since the beginning. And while her story, was ongoing and interesting, she's remarried now. I feel like, and while she got some problems with that man and it's coming out. But here's the other thing. It's okay to close that chapter. I don't really need to see Teresa in a reality show get married and divorced 3, 4, 5 times. Like, I don't need to follow that story.
Chicago is only 29% black.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Be a black cast. You say, I don't know, honey. See, like, if you say you want an all black cast in Chicago, I'm afraid of where that means they're gonna be filming that It might need to go on Zeus, right? I don't know, but like I said, I am open. I'm open to some fresh or some new. Like I said, I hated that they got rid of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. It was such a breath of fresh air. And because I watched the other Summer House, I watched those, but I always like looking at something that I can at least relate to and aspire to. And see, like the point of Summer House is that they share a vacation home.
Yeah.
And so they go, on vacation throughout the year, which I would aspire to share a vacation home with somebody and we had somewhere to go every time the holiday came or you know what I'm saying? Woo. But yeah, I'm open. I'm looking forward to so they got 5 new shows coming out. Wife swap seemed like that's gonna be kind of a good thing. We and like the Rhode Island Housewives, we talked about that, and it was something. Oh, so you probably never did watch Shaza. Shaza Sunset of Shaza.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Okay, did I say it right? I can't remember.
I don't know. Who it was. It's them people.
But it's funny that they are basically bringing the show back out, but they calling it something different.
Oh, really?
It's gonna be MJ, Gigi, and
so it's like a spinoff.
Okay. Right, that's what I said. They calling it something of Persia, something like that. But it's like, basically Shaza Sunset, like because you got the same 3 people in there. Like, okay, girl, okay, boy, whatever. So yeah, that's all.
And the reason I've just looked up the population of blacks in Atlanta, it is 46.7%, and that's why you have the demographics of all black, because that's considered like the black Mecca. I remember when
that's what I mean. I know that they have been. Mm-hmm.
And I think what the blackest city was
well, isn't
Detroit
DC
or Washington
DC called like the Chocolate City?
Washington DC was the Chocolate City.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of I know another YouTuber was talking about why they're having a hard time of getting people like into Potomac to do, especially with the affluent people in Washington D.C., because most of them hold different government clearances.
Well, so exclusive. Did anybody ever watch The Real Housewives of D.C.? They had 1 season, and on that show, them people snuck into the White House state dinner. That is the reason why.
I remember hearing about that.
Yep, that's the reason why they only had 1 season. And so Potomac, I think, was a way to kind of kind of get that, you know what I'm saying? But without being in DC. But yes, them people right on the cameras.
Really? I've never watched the show. So what was the cast made up?
It was horrible. It was horrible. Also, yeah. Look, also, but and look, not for nothing, y'all. It was so horrible. I don't even think you can go find that nowhere. And you can find Dallas, because Dallas was bad too. But like, I don't even think you can find Real Housewives. If you can find it, it's gonna probably be on Tubi or something. Like it ain't. It's not on. It is not on Peacock.
So this was a Bravo.
Yeah.
Show? Wow.
Yeah. The Real Housewives of DC was one of they. Yeah.
It's not even on Bravo either. Wow.
I cannot find that shit. They have erased that shit from.
What was the cast makeup of that show?
I can't even remember, honestly, because it was. Who was it? I'm pretty sure it was Obama that was in office, and I'm trying to think if I can't even remember if it was his first or second term. Like, I can't remember. It might have been first term. I'm trying to.
These are black people that snuck into the. Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Girl, stop talking about when I went to Washington D.C. and seeing them things cops around there. I'm like,
but like I said, nobody that I remember on there was somebody that like I remember knowing already. So I can't really remember. Let me see if I can Google. I cannot remember like the names.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it said New Orleans is the second blackest city.
Which that makes sense.
Potomac is on life support.
Oh, wait a minute. It say now on Google, it say you can watch it on Peacock. So it might be on there, y'all. I know when I looked for it before, it wasn't on there. Now that might have been a while ago, because that's what I had said it then. I said, yeah. They said, we finna get rid of this. Let me see. When did it come out? 2010.
Okay. First term.
2010. Let me see if they're gonna have, if I can see who the cast people were. Somebody named it must have been Michaela. Then we had Mary Schmidt, something like that. Stacy Scott Turner. Catherine, I can't pronounce, O'Mani, Linda, and even these names, as I'm saying, they are not ringing no bells. I mean, it was 15 years ago, and like I said, it was one season. So the highlight was these people sneaking into the state, the state dinner.
Girl, I was gonna say, I know ain't no black people that did that kind of mess now.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, but even for them, like again, they the reason why the damn thing got canceled, because even that and at that particular time, like today, I think people like let you feel entitled that way, but then they like who the hell? Just like them people at the Capitol, I bet that wouldn't have happened back then, but whatever. I digress.
We're in a whole new time,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like that shit wouldn't have went down like that. Whether it was the same people, it still wouldn't have went down like that, because it was a whole nother day. And that's what I'm saying. Like it was more so. No, they didn't like that. That was a disrespect to go and sneak into something like that, knowing you wasn't supposed to be there, and you got these damn cameras with you.
I wonder. So they didn't know about it until it aired? Is that what happened?
Well, I feel like, no, they knew about it.
No, I'm talking about, did they get put out?
Filming. They had to
know. No.
As we watching it, we're knowing that they don't have what they need to have to get in there.
What I'm asking is, but they didn't get kicked out or anything.
I don't did they? Okay.
Seems like they would have went to jail.
I feel like maybe they didn't get all the way in. Maybe they didn't get all the way in. It was like it was craziness. It was craziness. I can't remember if they got, maybe they didn't get in and they had to come back out or something. It was just some crazy shit.
Okay, because I'm
Crazy.
like,
Yeah.
you have to have all kind of security
Right,
clearance
yeah,
and
that's what I'm
everything.
saying. It was, and like I said, I can't remember the detail. Like that part, that's why I'm like, well, maybe they was trying to sneak. I thought they had actually got in the room, but so maybe they got kicked out. Maybe it was kicked out because I thought they actually had got into the dinner. Like
Wow.
actually got into the dinner.
Wow.
And again, I don't know how, but it was crazy.
Somebody had to know somebody.
Potomac is on life support and being saved by Andy, the doctor.
Mm.
I don't know if I hadn't felt like I wanted Potomac canceled. The only reason why I think is because even though it's Housewives of Potomac, it seemed like they got a different culture than the other housewives. Even though they on the same like little bull, but I think they're gonna probably wait for Karen to get out. So that they can film with Karen again. And I guess that'll be their best bet because they'll probably get a lot of views for that. But they are filming, and so I don't know how long they plan. Well, I'm sure they're not gonna film for a whole year. So whatever this next season is, Karen won't be on it because they're not waiting for her the way they did Teresa Giudice. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Atlanta has run its course in general. I don't want to see any of the OGs come back. It can Nene, none of them. I am like again because I think that all of these housewives, the story is told. That's kind of why Cynthia works so well as a friend of, because it's okay. Even though she, got the divorce from Mike Hill, and even though she's dating, because we've already seen her in that space, we don't need to see it again. I mean, unless y'all just really bored, I guess. But for me, I don't need to keep watching her do that. Or she can go get on Love Hotel, or you know what I'm saying, or something else. And so that, like I say, they don't need to go back and get anybody. It's just over with. And like I said, I'm gonna go find that. I can't wait. I'm gonna order me a sound machine ASAP. Oh, y'all go to my Amazon storefront. Maybe I can put my wish list up here, and y'all can help me get something. I don't know. Drop down in the comments and tell me if that's a possibility. But I want to, because Heather Dubrow, I love that when she said that, and I think it's true. Like, if everybody is telling you you are dead, it is time to lay down. She told that to one of her castmates. That was like, you go, girl.
Well,
It's time to lay down.
it's time to lay down.
It
It is literally time to lay down.
I love her like a human being as much as I dislike Ashley, Darby, and Ashley and Giselle are working my nerves over there on Love Hotel, honey. They really are.
And Giselle just being an antagonist. She ain't thinking about none of those men over there.
Both of them, though, really. And that's why I'm like, they really working my nerves because y'all not there for real for that. Y'all just over there playing. So I know what you mean, Brandy. Housewives, we need to see growth in their lives. Yes. We've seen all the exactly. Yeah, right. I don't need to keep get a new group. Like let's bring a fresh group in here, And like I said, they can go do ultimate. It could be couples therapy. What's the other one? They go over there in the house. Boot camp, marriage boot camp. It's a plethora of stuff for them to move on to, and I still watch it. Look, so I still watch them.
But it's nice. Miss Dane said we don't want to see growth, but it seems like when the people don't have drama, people are saying it's boring.
Well, I think she was just agreeing in the sense of like how I was saying about it being a cycle. So like Cynthia. Cynthia got married. She got divorced from Peter. Then we got to see her date, right? We met her already attached to Peter, So we got to see her date. She met Mike. They got married. So my point is, her coming back even as a full-time housewife this year wouldn't make sense, because what we going back to? Watching her date again? We just saw that. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you say, it might create some drama, but I guess it just depends on what type of mind you have. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's spaces for that. Like I don't know how many people on here watching Real Housewives of Atlanta also watch Baddies. Do you?
No.
Okay, I don't think many of, right, because it's a different mind.
But I'm just saying, I don't have to have drama. I just like to see the things that are going on. So if they're doing new business ventures, traveling, doing whatever, because it's supposed to be aspirational, right? But it seems like when they're giving all these different things that's aspirational, some people, because it's not enough drama, it's not messy enough, people don't want to watch it, is what I'm saying. Oh, that person's boring.
I think you would have to. I feel like that's something that's easy for people to say, and I think that there's a portion of truth to it. There has to be something interesting, some form of dramatics, and I don't know if it always has to lead to a messiness, right? Because we just talk about sitcoms or something. It don't have. It can be lighthearted. It don't have to be like messiness. But again, if you're talking about looking at the same person, so that's what I mean. Nene, she comes back on now. I mean, okay, Greg passed on. That's what I mean. Her story, as far as Real Housewives of Atlanta, for me, has been told. Now, can she go somewhere else and tell this next part of her life? Because I'm not saying that in the sense of like, well, you ain't got shit else going on and woo woo woo. I'm just saying it's, like I said, in the world of a sitcom, at a certain point, a sitcom has just run its course. You've answered the questions. You've got to the goal of whatever it is we started out at. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got there. The Game is a good example. I never thought they needed to bring that back, right? Because once we got to the point where Derwin and Melanie got married, that was all we needed, right? Because that was what we had been watching this whole time for. I mean, and fine, it was cool to see what they would do about them getting back, but it turned out to be a flop. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, it wasn't necessary in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because you actually completed that story. Girlfriends, on the other end, now this lady got on Sherry Shepherd's show and gonna talk about she would do the movie for $50 million. Girl, would you shit and put that on damn Tubi so we can watch the end of this? Y'all been hearing us holding on about this damn show for 20 years.
Who said this?
Maria Braca Akil.
Okay.
Yeah. She was on Sherry Shepherd's show. I'm about to post that for y'all too in the stories. Make sure y'all subscribe.
$50 million.
$50 million. Talking about that's the budget she wants. I could have jumped through my TV screen.
Like, what the hell is they gonna be doing?
That's what I want to know, right?
Girl, Joan got
what the hell I want to know. Where are they gonna be going at, girl? Because, like I said, at this point, I will watch this on Tubi. I don't care how you get us a final something, but get us a final something, because that was bullshit. I can't even watch the last season of Girlfriends because of the way it ends. I get mad all over again, like that shit happened. Yeah, I'm kind of like Shamea on that. I get mad, like, and I know it's coming. Like, I know it's coming, and I'll be like,
Bring it here. Well, it's time to go.
Bravo got so tired of the whole cast, they recruited a porn star in The Hobbit. And a Me Too liar, Phaedra. I know that's right. Yeah. But Phaedra, I don't know. Now they holding on to Phaedra for something. I don't know why. Because she was at the upfront, and I thought, and then I feel like, is it true that she's actually a peach holder? I don't know if that's true, but allegedly she is coming in with a peach, and she only got 3 episodes. I don't know what that's. I mean, it's her contract. She negotiated it. Like, hey, y'all want me here? Y'all gonna have to pay me. We ain't gonna be mad at her. All right, but thanks for joining us, guys. So listen, we are going to do a live Wednesday nights. We are moving the weekly wrap up to Wednesday evenings at 7:30. 7:30. Make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel. Like this video, please, and hit the bell notification. But we are going to be talking about the Diddy trial for the next few weeks, as far as that's going on, for sure. That'll probably be the bulk of what we're discussing on Wednesday nights, among other things, if something else go down. So make sure y'all get ready for that. You say my prediction is Nene will be back next season with Phaedra and Marlo because Bravo hates Kenya. Yeah, Kenya pissed Bravo off. I don't know. I feel like I think Kenya pissed Bravo off those last 14 and 15, season 14 and 15, being a diva. I think she pissed them off for real. I don't know. But see, like, that doesn't even excite me. I love Nene, but again, it don't excite me to see them because I can't even imagine. And Marlo flopped so bad when she finally got her chance to get a peach. Yeah, I'd rather listen to Marlo and Sonya on the podcast.
Yeah, and I think once you kind of go out with a big, you leaving people wanting more. You don't want to go out and then they be like, damn. It's just like someone asked Candy, would she come back? It's like, basically, that chapter is closed.
And it should, as it should, unless you're a Sheree and you still trying to finish paying for your house and you using these checks, like to pay your stuff off. And then, and to Sheree's point, that's why I think she came back so often. It took so long to complete her story. You know what I'm like? She started a story way back when, the fashion, the house, the settlement, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so if y'all think about it, piece by piece, like that's kind of why they kept calling her back. Not because she brought a damn thing to the scenes, like because she really did. Sheree couldn't get her little reads until she was doing her confessionals. That's because somebody was giving them to her. So she not quick with it. That's why we like Angela, because that's what we say. Angela is like who, what? And so it's clear she not stuttering, you know what I mean? It's like boom, and ain't nobody gave them to her. They came right off the dome.
Straight off the cuff.
Yeah. But Sheree, that's the only reason why they kept her coming back over and over again, because she still had a piece of her story that was still open and not completed. But once she got that house, right? Then now you kind of got the Tyrone thing. Well, once he came out and played her again, now we back at square one, and we don't really need to see it no more. Like, because now you just gonna open up a new story, and we are done with this part of the demonstration. To Candy's point, Candy got all of what she was gonna get out of there. Hey, and I don't blame her. Move on. Move on.
All righty. Well, I got my grandbaby here.
Okay.
I guess to go.
Okay.
And but it's been a good conversation. Thank you for joining us. You said it was a 6. I give it about a 6. I just don't like the breakdown of the friendship. I think it's a
For
sad
sure.
thing to watch.
It is.
And especially for a long-term friendship
It
like
is.
that, if it would have been someone they just met on the show. Because as you see, Angela don't even know what Ralph looked like. She said in her mind, Ralph and Dennis is the same person.
Yeah, and they are, as far as the way that they move, which I think she's speaking about what she's heard about them.
Yeah.
Like, and they are, and she's right. Mm-hmm.
So Drew put it out there. She said she like a man with a certain type of physique. Man,
Drew,
woman.
you like a man who I don't even know, honey. Because I guess that's how you got with Ralph. It was just the physique, because he sure didn't treat you like a damn thing. Girl, bye. I cannot stand Drew. I really can't. He blow me because he tries so hard. That's what I mean. It's like I like a man with a certain physique. Girl, that raggedy ass man you got in your basement, talk about his physique. If you don't get out of my face.
I think that was just a shot at Porsha and Dennis.
It was, but that's what I'm saying. Like, who did that? Like, how you reading somebody, but you read yourself? Because that's a read on your own self. Like, clearly that's all you look for. Because again, this man don't seem like he worth a damn all in your damn basement while you got to go and hound him to pay $100 for the exterminator. Cut it out. Physique, try a brain. Like, how about you look for that, Drew? If I only had a brain. I'm gonna find that song. I'm putting that on. Miss Diane needs to be canceled next. What Miss Diane do? Y'all canceling the lady. She ain't even part of the cast. What Miss Diane? All right, y'all. We gotta get ready to go. All right. Thanks for coming in with us. Join us on Wednesday so we can talk about the Diddy trial.
All right. You guys have a great evening. Bye.